This Bax and O'Brien podcast is brought to you by Gary Thomas and the Wealth Technology Group in Westfield.
Where it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:34, and Pearl Jam at Rock 102.
Well, here's a surprise for those of you planning to do the Springfield downtown concert on Thursday afternoon with Trailer Trash tonight. Trailer Trash is actually becoming a rare band to see now. Between last year's pandemic and this year's rain, so many shows are being canceled. It's ridiculous. It should be raining pretty good by 4 o'clock this afternoon, right through tonight.
Well, that's bad news.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But I got some other bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Popeil died at the age of 86.
Popeil?
Ron Popeil at the age of 86.
And Dusty Hill?
And that was the other bad news I was going to mention. Dusty Hill of ZZ Top died at the age of 72, allegedly in his sleep.
Nice.
We'll be playing ZZ Top music throughout the morning.
What's the third? Who's the third?
That is not clear.
Might happen this morning.
I don't wish that on anybody, but I think you have to just expect that somebody's right around the corner.
Was Popeil the haircut thing?
He did. He had many different products.
But I mean that big. What was the Flowbee?
The Flowbee.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was Ron Popeil. I think there were some vegetable shredders he had. I really have to look up on the websites to know for sure.
Look it up. We shall do.
It's 5:35 with Bax and O'Brien at Rock 102.
Hi, it's Carla from Volvo Cars Pioneer Valley, and we're happy to be a part of Bacon and Brew.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:51 and Creedence on Rock 102.
We shouldn't even play that song anymore. Have you ever seen the rain? When's the last time it hasn't rained?
Well, there are some shut-ins that don't open a window and they don't know what's going on outside.
I got an email right now from my lawn watering system, right?
Right.
Because it tells you when it's not going to run or is going to run, and it cancels a scheduled run if it's going to rain. This email tells me, so far, I have saved 935 gallons of water.
See? And you want to complain about the rain?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You're saving money hand over fist with this thing.
935 gallons of water I've saved.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
This is the best thing that's ever happened to you.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, what do you say we hop right into some Hollywood trash with Steve Nagel, the Rock 102?
Well, ZZ Top bassist Dusty Hill died on Tuesday. There's no word yet on his cause of death. His bandmates Billy Gibbons and Frank Beard said, quote, "We, along with legions of ZZ Top fans around the world, will miss your steadfast presence, your good nature, and enduring commitment to providing that monumental bottom to the top, if you will." Okay?
Yes, top.
We will be forever connected to that blues shuffle in C. You'll be greatly missed, amigo.
Yeah, I told you I saw that ZZ Top documentary on Netflix a while back. It was fantastic.
Fantastic.
I can't say I'm a huge ZZ Top fan. I don't hate them, but I'm not. I don't have all their albums. But it was really, really interesting.
Dusty wasn't ZZ Top's original bass player, but he joined just before they recorded their debut album in 1971. He, Billy, and Frank remained a solid lineup up until the very end.
He wasn't the original, but he was on the debut album.
It's kind of like, what is it, Queen? Queen was like that. Freddie Mercury wasn't the original singer of the band.
But he was on the first album?
Yeah, well, I mean, the band exists long before they can record anything.
I guess, but
what do you think?
Cares?
You start a band and the next week you're doing an album?
Well, I would think then it doesn't really matter. From the day you were starting an album, that's when you were born.
He's the only bass player that any ZZ Top fan knows.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's true.
In 2010, Dusty actually talked about what he wanted on his tombstone. He said, quote, "It may sound morose, but you never get younger. I've come up with some ideas and rejected them all."
For, what, like a frozen pizza?
No, an inscription on his gravestone.
The gravestone. Okay.
Nobody wants a frozen pizza after they die. I wanted to die after a few frozen pizzas.
He said there's an inscription on a wooden marker over a grave in Boot Hill that says, "Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more." He goes, "I love the humor in that."
Yeah. Plus, Lester Moore.
Yes, that's right. You bring up a good point.
And, of course, another national treasure has passed away. Ronco kingpin Ron Popeil died yesterday after a medical emergency. Just set it and forget it.
That's so many great products came out of that Ronco company.
He was 86. Over the years, Popeil sold tons of products through infomercials, including the Vegematic, the Pocket Fisherman, and Mr. Microphone. I didn't know he did Mr. Microphone.
He did Mr. Microphone. He also did the smokeless ashtray and the inside the shell egg scrambler.
How do you scramble an egg inside the shell?
Popeil figured it out. That's what made him a national treasure, like Steve said.
How do you eat it?
You crack the egg, and inside is a scrambled egg, and you heat it up.
It would seem to me a scrambled egg would take up a lot more mass than a raw egg.
You know, you can question Mr. Popeil all you'd like, but he made millions and millions of dollars off these products.
And he could make as millions and millions and millions as he wants, but he's dead.
Well, he filed for bankruptcy on more than one occasion, so it wasn't all about the cash.
Oh, man, I'm on his website right now. They do have a category listed as past products. It's 2 columns. And they've got to be, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4. They got to be 25 things per column. 50 things overall.
He was really good at marketing his inventions.
Yeah, I guess so.
Guy was a genius.
He was that was like what's that show on Shark Tank? He was like the Shark Tank guy before everybody else was Shark Tank cool.
Right, before sharks even existed.
Right.
You know, he was the guy that invented the rhinestone stud setter.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the precursor to the diamond stutter.
Yeah. The Ronco spray gun.
Man did it all.
The spray gun?
Yes.
I wonder what that entailed.
You can't click on any of these things.
David Letterman's Late Show segment, Stupid Pet Tricks, is being turned into a half-hour series on TBS because, you know, it's only been 6 years since that show's been off the air.
But there are new pets with new tricks.
So it's a new thing that Letterman's hosting?
No, he's not even hosting it. Sarah Silverman will host, and it'll also have surprise celebrity guests.
Is it being called David Letterman's Stupid Pet Tricks?
I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It's being, in quotes, it says Stupid Pet Tricks.
Yeah.
So it's basically taking the concept and using it as their own.
10 episodes. I cannot wait for this to come out. I do like Sarah Silverman, though.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers singer Anthony Kiedis put his Hawaiian home up for sale for about $10 million. The land was originally purchased from Sly Stallone and sits next door to an ancient burial ground. But at least the view is breathtaking.
Once again, I'm watching this Woodstock 99 documentary, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers were a real problem. Them and who did I say yesterday? Not Slipknot, but there was another. Or maybe it was Slipknot. But I mean, there were bands there that just. Who's Fred Durst? Where's he from?
Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit was another one. Yeah, they were just. They were asked to try to calm the crowd, and not only did they not do that,
they whipped them up.
Incited them. Yes, they made them much, much worse.
There's actually a lot of musicians that cannot stand the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah,
I can't stand
not musically, exclusively, personality-wise, I can't stand Anthony Kiedis.
I can't stand that song. We play that one song by them, and I can't stand it.
Under the Bridge?
No, The Bird with the Lonely View or something like that.
I don't know which one that is.
It's awful. It's awful, and we have to listen to it every day here.
But this whole weekend of fun looks just like it was a nightmare. The whole thing was a nightmare, and yet the promoters were continuing all weekend to tell everybody how great it was. MTV even fled.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't. Carson Daly and the promoters were blaming Kurt Loder for a lot of the problems.
John Bon Jovi and Whitney Houston are among a handful of famous New Jersey natives who are getting rest stops dedicated to them on the Garden State Parkway.
Sweet.
The Whitney Houston rest stop.
Can they take a bath?
You could take a bath. You might never leave the rest stop, but you can take a bath. Others include Frank Sinatra, James Gandolfini, Connie Chung, Judy Blume, and Toni Morrison. Each star will have an exhibit at his or her designated rest stop, courtesy of the New Jersey Hall of Fame. And you're probably wondering why Bruce Springsteen isn't one of those honorees.
I am
Hey, Steve,
definitely wondering.
Why isn't Bruce Springsteen one of those people?
He respectfully declined to have a service area named after him. Probably goes, I don't want no dudes up in the bathroom, doing things with my name.
No, you don't
No,
know
but
that.
Bruce, we were going to call it Thunder Road.
His spokesperson said it should be noted, though, that Bruce has been very supportive of the New Jersey Hall of Fame over the years and is very much part of the fabric of the hall. So,
Well, there you go.
he just doesn't want one named after him.
Right, doesn't want a rest stop. He doesn't want a place where guys are going to stop in the middle of the night to give each other pleasure.
But, baby, we were born to run.
Yeah.
And that is your Hollywood Trash on Rock 102.
Pioneer.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Grills, Weber, Big Green Egg, and Traeger Wood-Fired Grills.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Hey, remember the coronavirus? Boy, that thing sure was a problem. And you remember all that needless worry about COVID running roughshod over the Olympic Games in Tokyo, where vaccination rates are still between 8 and 10%? Well, I'm encouraged to tell you that in spite of the fact that 198 people associated with the Olympic Games, including 23 athletes, have all tested positive, have placed no additional burden on Tokyo's medical system whatsoever. That's according to the International Olympic Committee, who, as you know, would never offer a misleading public statement during a crisis. According to the IOC, of those 198 people, only 2 of them have been hospitalized, and neither of those cases is severe. Again, that's according to the IOC, which would have no compelling reason to deceive or to manipulate facts to support how well they've handled themselves in this situation so far. I mean, other than the fact that they've largely ignored the current explosion of positive cases throughout the city of Tokyo in just the last 24 hours, where, for example, yesterday the city of Tokyo just announced that there were 3,177 new cases, which has been the single worst day on record, and the first time that number has exceeded 3,000 cases in a single day. But don't worry about the Olympics. The IOC has got this all under control. You see, the IOC apparently knows how to protect their participants better than any other medical organization in the world. Clearly, those 198 positive cases in the Olympic Village are not contributing to an overburdened public health structure. It's all supervised. As long as there are medals to win, sponsorships to fulfill, and revenue to generate, the IOC will continue to closely monitor the situation as you would expect. Sure, there are thousands of people jamming up the city's 650 hospitals, but that's only 4.8 sick people coming into each hospital every single day. See? That doesn't sound so bad, does it? Oh, yeah. It's all under control because the IOC knows how to handle these kinds of things in a way that none of us could ever possibly understand. In fact, I feel better already. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. What kind of mess you got on you now? How about a Craftsman Weft dryback for only $24? You can get it with your Ace Rewards card from Rocky's Ace Hardware. The July sales flyer on the Rocky's website is loaded with great bargains like that $24 Craftsman Weft dryback. Available now at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm back. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock, 613 and ZZ Top on Rock 102. Of course, many of you might be hearing for the first time that Dusty Hill as ZZ Top died this week at the age of 72, apparently in his sleep.
He died this week, and they're just hearing it now?
Well, I don't know what day. I mean, we heard about this yesterday,
so
later in the day, but died in his sleep.
So we're going to play ZZ Top music all morning?
Well, I mean, probably like once an hour.
I hope Steve Miller lives at least another 3.5 years.
All right, you know what?
Because I got to get to retirement.
Will you stop
before he dies?
Please.
Well, actually, we play him once an hour now anyhow.
Will you stop?
You know, I'm very lucky that by talking for a living, because talking, obviously, is different than writing. Although not all the time. Sometimes talking can be just as bad. But I'm lucky that in all my years of talking, I've never said anything really stupid.
Oh, my God, are you wrong?
I'm so lucky.
I can come up with a list of 35 things off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay. So I did this in sports a few minutes ago. Italian tennis player Fabio Fognini. Now, well, let me finish the story. He has apologized for yelling at himself using a homophobic slur. Now, I can probably think of one popular homophobic slur, And the guy's last name is Fognini. I would have said, no, I said Fog. I said, oh, you stupid Fog. That's what I call myself. I call myself Fog.
Right.
You know,
Like-
that would have been a perfect, instead of saying, which he did, he admitted it. He said, yes, I the heat was bothering me. It was a really stupid thing for me to say, but I said it.
But everyone's been calling me that for years.
Yeah. Everywhere I go, people are like, hey, look, it's a Fog. Fog is here.
Yeah, but you see, we live in a culture that takes any sort of inference
Yeah.
to a group of people that might be offended by that, and they just they explode the whole thing.
Well, then there are those, of course, who put it in writing, which is, I believe. See, now I've culled this article down to the point where I don't remember where this came from, but Novak Djokovic apparently yesterday in an interview. Now Novak is playing in the Olympics. Said that pressure is a privilege. He was asked about mental health, the issues with, Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles. And the top-ranked Serbian was asked how he deals with the pressure of attempting to become the first man in tennis to achieve a Golden Slam. Now, I presume that means all of the top tennis tournaments and the Olympics, because usually it's the Grand Slam. He said that without pressure, there is no professional sport. And if you are aiming to be at the top of the game, you better start learning how to deal with pressure and how to cope with those moments. Really kind of stupid thing to say.
Well, I mean, there is some level of truth to it, but it's insensitive to say because not everybody deals with pressure in the same way.
Yeah.
And Simone Biles, for example. I mean, Naomi Osaka is really just at the very beginning of her career. But at 24 years old, Simone Biles has proven her greatness. Mm-hmm. And, any pressure she's facing, is beyond just going back to the Olympics and winning a medal. There's a lot more on her than anything else. Everyone's expecting her around the world to win this thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm amazed by, while it's a small minority, I'm amazed by how many people are being critical of her.
I know.
For backing out. It's like, what are you talking about? She doesn't need anyone's permission to take care of herself mentally.
And
to be able to do that, I think, is a courageous act.
And whatever level of truth you think there is to what Novak Djokovic said, you'd have to hear the whole rest of the interview. You'd have to hear at least the question to which he responded that way, because he's being asked about Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles. If this were just a general conversation about mental health and professional sports, it'd be a different story. But it sounds there like what he's saying is these two women did not prepare themselves to be at the top of their games. And I just think that's really insensitive.
It's terribly insensitive. But, again, to perform at his level, he's clearly had to deal with this, with the pressure of being, a great champion. He's been able to do it. Simone Biles has been able to do it. She's not able to do it now. And people's, mental capacity ebbs and flows over a period of time. To me, that is not about weakness. To me, it's strength in saying, this is more important than any medal or any accolade. I've already proven to myself and to the world what I'm capable of. Right now, I need to focus on me. And I think that's important. I think more people should do that.
I don't like to necessarily condemn groups of people, but when it seems like a majority of individuals sharing the same opinion are in the same group, it's hard not to. Okay? So there are a lot of smart and reasonable Republicans in both the House and the Senate. There are a lot of smart. There's probably a majority of them that are smart. It's probably a minority that are the ones that make you go, you're really giving all the rest of us a bad name. I'm watching this story last night on NBC News about the pandemic, about the return of masks, and about the response in Washington. And this Chip Roy of Texas gets up, and he's yelling, and sitting right behind him is Marjorie Taylor Greene. So he's yelling, "Consider resentment being magnified right here on the floor of representatives. We are absolutely sick and tired of it, and so are the American people." What is it? Masks or vaccines? Which is it? I don't understand this alleged confusion. First of all, unlike Chip Roy, viruses evolve and they change. So what we were doing a year ago to protect ourselves from this is not necessarily what we're doing a year later.
Right.
And that's not unusual.
So let me first address the political aspect of it, because what you are hearing are the extreme edges of these political parties. The extreme edge of the Democratic Party are the most fanatically liberal group. What you're hearing from the Republican parties are the most fanatical conservative groups. And what's happening is the extremes are defining the entire party. Mm-hmm. I believe unfairly, because I think there's a larger group in the middle, a more moderate group in the middle, that their message gets squashed because it doesn't make the kinds of headlines or sound bites that people care about.
And when one of their leaders is one of those extremes, it doesn't help them any either.
It absolutely doesn't.
And a guy like Kevin McCarthy does not help the Republicans, because he's one of the extremes, walking around saying he's not going to wear a mask and he doesn't understand why we're supposed to be wearing masks again. And what about the vaccine? I thought that was supposed to save us. These things change. We've got these variants now. We've got this one particular variant, and we're finding out that even fully vaccinated people can infect other people.
And you know what else changes?
Yeah.
People's votes.
Yeah.
And that's important for a lot of these people to understand, too, that they have the power to vote these kinds of people out of office.
And the ones who even can't be voted out of office, the Dr. Fauci's, the Deborah Birx's, the Robert Redfields, those people, the scientists.
Robert Redfield was so good in Sundance Kid.
I preferred him in The Sting. But it's just, for the ones who don't believe in science, if Thomas Dolby taught us nothing.
And for the most part, he didn't teach us anything.
Come on now.
It's 6:22 on Rock 102. It's just about 6:26 at Bax and O'Brien and Rock 102.
So once again, I'm looking at 22 and watching Kelly Clarkson's 7-day forecast.
Stop it with that Kelly Clarkson's garbage.
Reardon. Reardon. I keep forgetting. It's like strep throat. I forget. It gets into my head.
I'm not gonna sit here and have you disrespect Kelly Reardon that way.
So for the next 7 days, rain today, rain tomorrow. Presumably no rain on Saturday. Sunday and Monday, rain. Presumably no rain on Tuesday. Wednesday, rain.
All right, but if it's morning showers on Friday and then and night showers on Sunday, it's still a pretty decent weekend.
No. Because, first of all, while many days have not been complete rainouts, when it has rained, it's been a deluge. And it's lasted hours, and it can ruin a barbecue, an outdoor concert, any number of things that last for hours, even though most of the day may be dry.
I suggest grilling a little bit early.
Yeah.
That's what I suggest.
This is...
You can always reheat in the microwave.
I would love to believe that this is calendar-driven. Today's the 29th. Tomorrow, 30 days. There's going to be 2 more days left, and then that's it. It'll stop raining August 1st and won't rain once in all of August. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice, but I don't know if it's realistic to make those kinds of predictions. You are not a meteorologist like the wonderful Kelly Reardon.
Yeah, it's not so much a prediction. It's simply a hope, and God knows what I've done with most of my hopes. Let's laugh.
Tell me, Tell me what's funny.
It's Bax and O'Brien's Joke of the Day
Well, it's nice to find a fellow with a keen sense of humor.
on Rock 102.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Springfield's classic rock.
You know, I got the COVID vaccine.
You did?
I did. But I've noticed a very weird side effect. Every time I sneeze, I hear that Microsoft error sound. See, because it's a chip,
See,
and Bill Gates is
I
tracking
don't
every
really
move
understand
that I
any of that
have.
joke at all.
Booyah!
632 with Bax and O'Brien at Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagel.
Thanks, Max. A serious motor vehicle accident on Main Street in Springfield sent one person to the hospital Wednesday afternoon. The person taken to the hospital suffered non-life-threatening injuries after crashing into a traffic light pole. That's according to fire officials. It's unknown if another vehicle was involved.
Yeah, just thinking the other day, I was over at the cancer center, and for some reason, I associate this happening mostly on Main Street in downtown. These kids with the bikes and the dirt bikes and those kinds of things, and you know, and you hear about the injuries of this person in the accident. You'll hear nothing afterwards. You heard about the beating of the motorist by the kids on the bikes up near the X. Haven't heard another word about those injuries. I mean, I know they were very, very serious. He was in critical condition. And then, you know, even just sitting yesterday on my bike at a light while a bunch of these kids went by, it's like you don't even want to look at them. You know, you just start, you worry that even giving maybe one the stink eye could get him to come back. And especially if you're on a bike, you're not at least protected on the inside of a car. I don't know how I got off on this from just a 2-car accident.
I don't know how you
but,
did
but I did. I got distracted.
I saw a kid yesterday. I had lunch downtown yesterday, and saw a kid on Main and Harrison. Mm-hmm. You know exactly where that is, right? Across the street
sure
from Tower Square and everything else. So, kid's on a dirt bike, and the light goes green. He starts driving. Now, in the middle of the intersection, you can try to imagine this. He gets up. He stands up on the bike.
On the seat.
On the seat.
Yep.
With one leg. Yep. One foot is on the seat.
Yep.
And then he does a wheelie and is on the seat with 1 foot.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. But it's
But
impressive.
there's a part of me that says,
Damn.
my God, that kid's got some real Class A talent. That's Evel Knievel type stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I read a story yesterday. Remember we were talking about the skateboarders in the Olympics and how many times they must fall before they're able to pull off a stunt like that.
Right.
And the article was about how you have to learn how to fall. You need to learn how to take a fall, how to roll into one, how to do, and I'm sure this kid on the bike, many times that wheelie thing went wrong.
Yeah.
And he fell, but not in the middle of Main and Harrison.
Then, later on in the day, this, again, I don't know how these kids learn how to do this because I never did this on a bicycle. I'm driving through a construction zone, right? And so there's like a bunch of cones on the road, and it's like, it probably goes, another 100 yards beyond where the construction begins or ends. And then there's a kid on a bicycle. Try to imagine this now. Kid is standing up, and he is kicking the back tire as he is riding the bike to hit every single cone.
He's kicking the back tire to hit the cone?
Like he's using his feet to jerk the bike back, just the back tire, hit the cone, kick it back, so then he's riding straight again. And he did it like with every cone. It's like, man, this is a skill set that is
This kid should be in the
terribly
Olympics.
Irresponsible and dangerous, but wildly impressive.
We have a lot of talent in this area.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I've seen some circus acts that didn't have that kind of physical prowess.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, these kids are to be commended.
They should all be joining the circus.
A Springfield man has pleaded not guilty in Orange District Court to more than 24 charges related to an alleged sexual assault of 2 children. On Monday, 48-year-old Jose Oquendo of Springfield, who previously lived in Athol, was arrested by officers at the Athol police station after a 9-month-long investigation. According to Northwestern DA spokesperson Lori Loisel, Oquendo was arraigned on Tuesday for a slew of charges. Quindo's bail was set for $100,000 cash. He is ordered to stay away from the alleged victims and wear an electronic monitoring device.
This is not the same Jose Oquendo that used to play with the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Don't know, but I'm guessing probably not.
Wasn't there a song called When Will You Be Mine? Tell Me Oquendo, Oquendo, Oquendo?
That's Quando.
Yeah.
I knew I was on the right track, though.
Close.
A new bill at the State House would prevent first responders from taking photos of victims. It all stems from a murder that happened 10 years ago in the city of Chicopee. The bill's sponsor, Chicopee State Rep. Joe Wagner, said he's hoping to get some closure for the family of Amanda Plass. Back in 2011, Chicopee police took and disseminated pictures of murder victim Amanda Plass. Plass's family was devastated to learn that the images were sent to colleagues and members of the public. Now they're turning their grief into advocacy, and they're hoping the legislature will join them in their fight.
You got to pay attention to this, though, because it's the wording that is important. The bill would prevent first responders from taking photographs of victims at crime scenes unless it was part of their official duties. So, in other words, they're not saying there's not going to be pictures taken. I can tell you there were many times where I went to scenes that need to be preserved and possibly could change in the amount of time that it would take to actually get a police photographer on the scene to take photos. And we all have cameras in our pockets now. So it's part of the official duties. The problem is in the dissemination. You don't show them around at soccer practices. You don't show them to friends. You don't show them to family. You don't show them to anybody. But I think some people might be mistaken into believing that this means no first responders can take any pictures, and that's not what it means.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to be smart enough to know you're not even supposed to be showing other cops unless it's part of the official duties.
Unless they're a sexy pose. Then you can share those on Snapchat all day long.
Yeah, crime scene peekaboo shots are very popular, but a lot of police departments have or used to have their own staff photographer to go to crime scenes.
Used to.
And to photograph. Obviously, with cell phone technology being what it is, those photographs are their evidence. And so they're necessary. But, you're absolutely right. How those kinds of pictures get into the hands of anybody other than those working on that investigation, that's where you got big problems.
Yeah. I just don't want people are going to misunderstand this when it's presented by 22 or whomever to say, the bill will prevent first responders from taking photographs at crime scenes. No, it won't. It's not going to. So if you see a cop with his phone out taking a picture somewhere, doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong.
A chief experience officer was named for Friendly's restaurants to oversee menu creations, future innovations, and guest experience.
The CEO?
Yeah, the CEO. According to a news release from Amici Partners Group, owner of the restaurant chain Friendly's Restaurants and its affiliate Bricks Holdings, a multi-brand franchising company, have jointly announced the hiring of Roberto DeAngelis, a seasoned hospitality industry executive, to the newly created position of Chief Experience Officer for all brands.
See, that's the problem. His acronym then is CEO. He can walk around telling people I'm the CEO of Friendly's.
Well, they probably call him the other CEO.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Assistant to the assistant CEO.
Yeah.
DeAngelis will be responsible for menu innovation, concept development, and the overall guest experience across 6 national chains comprised of Friendly's restaurants and the Bricks brands, including Orange Leaf, Smoothie Factory, Red Mango, Super Salad, Red Brick Pizza, and Greens Salads.
Never heard of a single one of them.
All of his ideas will be done faster than it takes the time you to get chicken tenders at a Friendly's.
See, I again, I don't know if this new parent company understands where the problems lie, or if they do, I don't know if they're addressing it with new menu items. The issue has been slow to snail-like service. That's been it's never been the food. The food is fine. It's just you got to wait 45 minutes for your food or to get the bill. That's a problem.
But see, that's the thing. They revamped that, and I think the last time I was in a Friendly's was about maybe a year and a half ago. The food comes out quickly because they've kind of vamped the menu into just fried stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it's easy, already put together kind of thing. And that food comes out within less than 10 minutes when you order it. It is the quality of the food then, because now you have compromised the quality of the food because you're trying to get the food out faster. And it's really about the service. I don't understand why, after all these years, they don't have like a uniformed thing like a McDonald's or a Burger King where you have processes in place to clean the place up and get things out quicker. I don't know.
Here's an idea. Stop going to Friendly's.
Well, you can't say that.
Well, you can't
No,
say that.
I'm
You don't
not,
want to say that.
I'm not saying it to the audience. I'm saying it to you two. I can't tell you the last time I remember. All right, let me rephrase this. I can't remember the last time I had anything but a breakfast at Friendly's, and I don't know if I would say there was anything wrong there.
Again, it all depends when you go, where you go, and how often it happens.
Yeah.
If you have a mediocre experience at a restaurant, you are not likely to continue to go there.
Right.
Even if you have a good experience at a restaurant for the very first time, there's about like a 40% chance you'd go back.
Right.
You need to have consistency throughout the experience.
And that consistency with a negative experience is what's made the two of you believe that that's the expected
you do understand
situation.
It's not just the two of us. You do
I'm
get
only
that,
talking
right?
to you two. I'm only hearing it from you two. I don't really go to places where I have friendly conversations.
No, you usually go to places where you're castigated and thrown out.
Exactly.
Two bald eagles made an appearance on the satellite dish outside of the 22 News building on Wednesday afternoon.
Ooh, why was this not your top story?
They've been there for months.
The two eagles fly in and out periodically throughout the day.
Yeah.
You can check back on their webcam to see if you can spot them. But they made it sound like this was the first time they were there.
They've been there like since June, and they keep coming back.
Are they here?
And you can see them because the camera is right in their face.
Yeah, it's very much like Cy Becker.
They're here for Lapis, aren't they?
I don't know if they're here for Lapis, but
Just wait in a circle that
they're going to need more eagles.
That fresh meat when it gets killed off of the 22 News set. Fresh meat. There's Lapis. Go for the calves. Go for them now.
Well, then that must explain the vultures I saw around Cy Becker last night at East Longmeadow High School.
Well, those calves are the most succulent part of his body.
I don't like that word, succulent.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It really isn't what it is.
Yeah.
Did you know today is National Chicken Wing Day?
Chicken Wing Day?
National Chicken Wing Day.
Ah.
Yeah, there might be not as many deals this year because of the big chicken wing shortage we've been suffering through. But a few places are running deals. 7-Eleven.
Good place to go for wings.
When I think of wings, I don't think the first place to go is a 7-Eleven. Now, a Buffalo Wild Wings, that's also on the list. I would think that, or a Hooters.
Well, but once again, you wouldn't think Pride when you think lobster rolls. But let me tell you, one of the finest lobster rolls I've ever had.
Best sandwich you can eat in a Durant underpass.
Mm-hmm.
Hooters also posted some weird merchandise online, but you really got to love wings if you actually want this stuff. The dumbest item might be the wing-shaped pillow that hit their online store for $25. It's available for pre-order and ships in late August.
I like that idea.
It's basically a picture of a chicken wing and shaped like a wing.
The pillow. So the pillow has like three parts to it that you can not necessarily separate from each other, but pull apart from each other.
It's just the drumstick.
Oh, it's not the flat.
No, not the flats. They're also selling some very fashionable wing-shaped earrings for $10. Some genius in their marketing department came up with the ear wings. Get it? Because they're the
earrings,
ears of the owl.
I just feel bad for those boneless chickens.
They're not boneless
living
chickens.
in those factory settings.
Those are chicken tenderloins being passed off as wings.
No, I believe those are chickens that are genetically modified to be born without bones.
Probably genetically modified, but those are chicken loins.
Yeah, I ordered boneless wings from a place, and I don't want to say the name of it.
What's it rhyme with?
I can't even say that. But it was $5 more than it previously was for the boneless chicken wings because of the prices of being passed along from the distributor onto the restaurant.
And yet, chances are that the chicken tenderloin itself is actually cheaper than the separated wings per pound.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, it probably is.
So they're jacking the price up, thinking that you're stupid enough to believe. Well, there's a real process to get rid of those bones.
I also find very hard to watch the boneless, the chicken with the boneless legs.
The legs are not boneless.
They can barely even move.
It's not true.
It's very sad.
Yeah, that's not what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you're coming up with this stuff. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be cloudy with some rain showers today and a high of 76 tomorrow. Sunday with a high of 77. It is 66 right now in downtown.
Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 6:53, and the Doors on Rock 102.
Yeah, the Doors. From what year is that from?
67,
67,
something like 68 or something like that.
I'm telling you, this Woodstock special it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. There are a number of people who are interviewed throughout the show, attendees, actually some promoters, and a lot of rock journalists who put a lot of blame on the promoters. And, saying, first of all, the idea that the kids of those days needed a Woodstock, I don't know why anybody thought that was necessary. It really wasn't. It was the promoters who needed
the money
to relive this experience. So I forget which band it was, but one of the bands introduced Robbie Krieger playing with him, and Robbie Krieger looked like a zombie, and and one of the writers was going, "There's not a kid in the place who has any idea who Robbie Krieger is."
Yeah.
And here's the band introducing him like, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's Robbie Krieger."
And people are like,
Who? Yeah, who? Yeah.
Your parents knew him.
Yeah, your grandparents, maybe.
I know it's unbelievable. Even talking to my kids, and my kids have a pretty good understanding of music, but there's sometimes that you make a reference that they simply don't understand. And you're like, how did you not know this? I mean, what culture are you from where this is not public, common knowledge?
But there's, I'm going to see The Machine tomorrow night, outdoors up in New Hampshire. There'll be a lot of kids, your kids' ages, at a concert to hear Pink Floyd music. There are a lot of people that are 20, 30 years younger than the music that are into that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. But there are certain references they still can't get, even though they may love classic rock. They may be able to recite the Led Zeppelin lyrics or whatever it might be.
They can't name the members of the band.
Who's John Bonham?
Right.
He did what?
Who's Robbie Krieger?
Right, exactly. Hey, next week, in fact, Tuesday, Guns N' Roses are going to be playing at fan-friendly Fenway Park. That's Tuesday, August 3rd. And we have tickets to that show. They happen to be in a private suite.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Not crappy seats, private suite seats.
Those are sweet seats.
All you need to do is sign up at rock102.com before Monday, August 2nd. One winner will be chosen at random to sit in a private suite for the show. It's your chance to win some sweet seats to a Guns N' Roses show from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
They're actually sweet seats.
Yes.
SWEET SUITE.
Yes.
Sweet sweets.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct. And assuming that you can get, say, a box of Cracker Jacks at the concession stand, you could eat something sweet while you're sitting in those sweet
Sweet seats. Yeah. They could. Or what if we find out the opening band for the show is The Sweet?
You mean like Fox on the Run?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Love is Like Oxygen?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Hey, I got these sweet seats to see The Sweet, and I'm eating something sweet while I'm watching The Sweet.
Whew.
In my sweet seat.
You took it like one step too far.
I think it was more like 5.
It's 6:57, Rock 102.
Hi, it's Carla from Genesis of North.
And Traeger wood-fired grills.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Okay, here's a weird one for you. As many of you know, college athletics is largely divided amongst a series of athletic conferences. Each conference is loaded with teams. In many cases, being part of an elite conference can increase the profile of a particular school. But on occasion, sometimes schools will switch conferences for a variety of different reasons, most of which are either for financial or competitive purposes. On Monday, for example, both Texas and Oklahoma announced that they were leaving the Big 12 Conference to join the SEC once those contracts expire in 2025. Why is that significant? Well, ESPN happens to have a broadcast contract with the SEC Conference. So, with both Texas and Oklahoma being powerhouse college football programs, their inclusion into the SEC instantly makes that contract with ESPN that much more valuable. Here's where things get kind of sticky. According to a number of reports, the Big 12 has just issued a cease and desist order against ESPN for alleged tampering, claiming that ESPN has reached out to at least one other school remaining in the Big 12 to entice them to also join the SEC Conference. They're also accused of offering incentives to other football programs around the country to also join the SEC, thereby substantially increasing their ability to generate gobs of additional revenue while simultaneously destabilizing what's left of the Big 12 Conference. ESPN is claiming that the accusations have no merit whatsoever. Well, I'll tell you what does have merit. The $3 billion contract that ESPN has to own the SEC network and the broadcast rights to every single game in the conference. And there is no better way to fulfill that financial obligation than by televising games that people want to see. Of course, ESPN also has a deal with the Big 12, but they share that contract with Fox. And both of those deals are set to expire about the same time that the new SEC contract begins. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe. All I know is it's still going to cost you $56,000 a year to send your kid to Texas A&M and $76,000 a year to send your kid to Vanderbilt. And I don't hear anybody in the SEC looking to help anybody pay for an education. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. What kind of grill would be best for a dude like you? You want to go to the Palmer Rockies and talk to Matthew. Matthew knows a thing or two about Weber's and Traeger's and the Big Green Eggs. He loves talking about the grills. You'll find good people and rock-solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:10 and the Jay Giles Band at Rock 102.
Clouds this morning and rain in the afternoon. What a surprise. And tomorrow, too.
You know what else Ron Popeil invented?
Yeah.
Hair in a can. Remember that on the commercials? You if you're like a bald guy or balding or thinning, you spray this stuff in your hair, and it colors
That's what it was.
It colors your scalp.
Yeah.
So it looks like you have a full, glorious head of hair. Like you could run your hands right through.
Yeah. Could you get them out?
You could get them out.
Do you want to get them out?
Do you want to get them out?
I'd like to be able to get them out.
Yeah, left your hair with a beautiful hue.
There was something I want to talk about, and I still do, and we will. But I got distracted by something else. I was talking earlier about the kids on the skateboards and the falling. And I read an article yesterday about how, they learn to fall. They figure out how to tuck and roll and learn to fall. One of the things that Simone Biles said the other day was the thing that one of the things that freaked her out and how she knew that mentally she wasn't ready for this was that she got lost in a spin, that she wasn't looking at what she knew she should have been looking at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I fell a few months ago in my backyard.
Did you survive?
Barely. And I got to tell you, I can remember the moment the fall began. I can remember a point in the fall where I wondered how is this going to end? What am I going to hit? What am I going to hurt? And then I remembered the end of it. But the ability to have, when you watch these gymnasts, I mean, the ability to know where you are in one of those spins or flips or turns or stuff like that, it's a second. It's a half a second. It's a millisecond.
What is it called? It's like a cognitive awareness.
Yeah.
Of your surroundings and what's about to happen to you. Remember I told you a story about I got hit in the face with a baseball as a kid?
Uh-huh.
I'm playing first base and the shortstop throws the ball and it curves with 4 or 5 feet in front of me, hits the top of my glove, smashes me in the face. Now I'm seeing this ball come at me with from my glove to my face. Now you would think that would be like a fraction of a second. But there's a million thoughts that go through your head like, "Oh crap, I think that's going to hit me in the face."
Yeah.
And then, of course, you kind of try to put things in order as you're falling to the ground with a concussion.
Yeah. I mean, when you've got a more than a second, the divers, you got these Olympic divers who are doing all this stuff, and they've got 30, 40 feet to think about what they're doing. But even a Simone Biles, even off of the, whether it's the floor or the vault or what have you, the cognitive awareness to know where you are. There was one little girl they showed. She's an Olympian, but they were showing video from when she was a little girl, growing up with her father, and her father would do these backflips with her. And I just stop and I think to myself, speaking of falling and the experience of doing things, I don't even know I wouldn't know the first thing about what you begin to do with your body to flip over backwards. What are you concentrating on the most first? The top weight or the bottom weight? Getting your feet up or getting your head down so that you can do a complete flip and not just land on your face?
Well, I wish I had a good answer for you, but I've never had the kind of loft needed to do a backflip or a front flip. But
and then the worst part of this story was that the girl's father, some years later, fell face first off a ladder and was paralyzed from the waist down.
Wow.
But could, he slipped. It could happen to anybody.
Sure.
But to be able to do a backflip and not be injured?
Well, the thing about these kinds of events, where, your dives, your gymnastic routines and the events, they're so practiced and so intuitive by the point that you get to Olympic competition that there really should be no question in your mind, what am I supposed to do next? What should I be concentrating on? Where should my body be? What position should my arms and legs be in? They are so rehearsed and that, that shouldn't be about, are you not concentrating enough to complete something that you've done 1,000 times? That's a problem. And, and again, with the pressure that she's been under and, the self-doubt about, do you continue to compete when mentally your head's not just in it, then, that's a lot to take on for yourself.
Again, I went to a lot of gymnastics competitions because my niece did it for the whole time that she was at Minnechaug. And I actually enjoy it. I went years ago. I went to a gymnastics competition. I forget if it was AIC or Western New England College. I've always kind of been fascinated by watching that. But even watching it, and I know for the most part, many judges are former gymnasts themselves. So that's probably how you have an edge. Even watching it, I fail to be able to appreciate what I'm seeing in real time. It's like you have to see a replay, a slow motion replay, to really appreciate what a person has done. When you're watching them and they're, running full sprint and then off of that pommel horse and then the moves that they make until the 1.5 seconds it takes them to hit the floor, it's like, no, I need to see that slowed down.
Yeah.
I got to appreciate what they did because it was over too fast.
It's like, every time I'm watching the television coverage, and this is not a criticism about any commentator on the broadcast. It wouldn't be like like I'd be complaining about like a Tim Daggett, for example. I wouldn't. But when you see someone do like like a triple turn or a certain jump or whatever it is, and then to be able to identify how many rotations they did in the air, it's like I lose count after the number 1. So
I always lose count after 2.
So I wouldn't even know what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I mean, if she did if a young woman did a cartwheel, like, ooh, that's very impressive, a cartwheel.
Yeah,
it's like the simplest thing you could do.
But when they do a triple thing, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I saw her feet in the air twice. How is that a triple? I missed. What did I miss?
you just stop counting, and then you hear occasionally, "This has never been done in Olympic competition." They're like, "Okay, you sure you have notes on this?"
I'll take your word for it.
I'm going to believe you. You could say anything, and I'm going to say, "Wow, that's impressive business."
Because what I saw the girl before her do looked exactly the same thing, but it's not. It's not. I mean, one little move or one extra rotation. And it just, man, oh man!
When we were having lunch yesterday, having lunch in Nadim's, and on the TV they had the women's archery.
Have you been there before?
Many, many times.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, I like it, and a lot. And but that's not the issue. The issue is they had women's archery on, and you would think, God, that's got to be friggin' boring as hell. And under normal circumstances, I would have the same reaction until I'm watching it and I'm going, yes, she got 10 points. And I'm like, suddenly you get caught up in these events, not even realizing that they would have any interest at all. Like it wouldn't be interesting at all to watch anybody shoot a bow and arrow.
Well,
until you're at the Olympics and you say, okay, she's going against this German woman. I hope she kicks her ass. And yes, she kicked her ass. And
are they still shooting apples off the heads of other people?
No. They don't do any of that. That's not an Olympic event. But it's like you're trying to gain the most amount of points in just a few shots, and it's as simple as that. And yet, I could not stop watching it.
And again, I talked about this kind of one day. I don't remember when of. If you're a parent of a kid and the kid says to you, one day I want to be in the Olympics, and the kid says that before they've even established what sport they want to be in, you probably start getting visions of Simone Biles and Michael Phelps and Mark Spitz and Nadia Comaneci, and then the kid tells you, nah, archery. Archery is what I want to go to the Olympics for. And you're like, I don't know, Robin Hood.
I don't know. Will it pay for college?
Yeah. I don't remember seeing too many, what do I even call them? Archers?
Archers.
I don't remember seeing too many archers on Wheaties boxes. Boxes.
The only way I could relate to these women was, in Boy Scouts, where on these camping jamborees, they'd have like an archery setup. And I remember, shooting a bow and arrow for the first time in my life.
The only way I can relate to them is with a rubber tip.
Yeah, right. And you hit your forehead or something. But I couldn't shoot an arrow to save my soul.
No.
And they've got these high-powered bows, and these arrows are hitting bullseyes every single time. And I'm going, okay, well, I can't do that. But why am I watching this? Why can I not look away?
Because it's on TV.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff on TV I can easily look away.
Yeah.
If there's like a...
Have you seen any badminton yet?
I have not. I actually have watched an astounding little bit of Olympics.
I haven't seen any that's not in the clips in the nightly news.
Yeah, and NBC is getting hammered on their coverage, not because it's bad, but because people can't find what they want to see.
Yeah.
It's so confusing as where you go to watch these events. I mean, sometimes it's streaming, sometimes it's on Peacock, sometimes it's on NBC or some other areas, but it's really confusing for a lot of people to figure out where do you go? And sponsors are going ballistic because these are like some of the worst television ratings for Olympics ever.
What a surprise.
Yeah, I know. Not much of a surprise at all.
Oh, so what I wanted to talk about was...
It's a little bit late for that. 721 to Rock 102.
I purchased my vehicle just over a year ago from Leah Toyota of Wilbraham, and I couldn't be happier with the experience of the sales and the service and everything that goes along with Leah Toyota of Wilbraham. My good buddy John Kupek is the general manager over there, and he's got all kinds of things going on at Leah Toyota of Wilbraham. They have truckloads of new Toyotas arriving daily, Camrys, RAV4s, Tacomas, Tundras, and more, in stock and available for immediate delivery. With the year's best lease specials, rebates up to $5,500 and rates as low as 0% on select models. You're sure to find the car that you want at a price that fits your budget. At Leah Toyota Wilbraham, instant credit approval is only a click away. All credit applications will be accepted. Everyone drives at Leah Toyota of Wilbraham. 2145 Boston Road or 24/7 at leahtoyotawilbraham.com.
The COVID vaccine is a critical tool to protect yourself and to end the pandemic.
But you might have questions about its safety.
The same safety measures used for all vaccines were followed for the COVID vaccine.
Tens of thousands of people participated in the studies to demonstrate that the vaccine is safe.
Millions of people of different races and ethnicities have gotten vaccinated and only experienced mild side effects.
I got the vaccine to protect myself, my family, and my patients.
To learn more, visit baystatehealth.org/bestshot.
ACT Youth Theater proudly presents Wizard of Oz, August 6th through the 8th and August 20th through the 22nd at the Roundhouse Theater at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. Directed by Erica Clark and Ilana Martineau, follow the yellow brick road to the magical land of Oz. Showtimes are 6 to 7:15 on Fridays and Saturdays. Sunday matinee times are 1 to 2:15. Tickets are $12 general admission and $10 for students and seniors, available 30 minutes prior to the show at the door. For more details, visit Arena Civic Theater's Facebook page.
It's grillin' time at Atkins Farms. Atkins Meat and Seafood Departments feature certified Angus beef, chicken, ribs, and the freshest seafood around. Kick it up a notch with a rub, marinade, or barbecue sauce. The deli has delicious coleslaw, beans, salads, and more. Fresh and local fruits and produce, too. So get your grill on with Atkins, where safety-first shopping is our priority, with in-store shopping, curbside pickup, and home delivery. For more information, visit atkinsfarms.com. Atkins Farms, your local and family-owned country market.
Hilltown Chic presents the Hilltown Rock Show, August 1st, with The Glorious Unknown and Aquanet. Rocking the stage at Strathmore Park in Russell. Amazing food trucks, vendors to shop from, along with a killer car cruise, a free parking area for cruise cars, and a private display area inside the event as well. Fun prizes for Kids' Choice, Ladies' Choice, and fan favorite cars. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for kids 6 to 18, under 6, free. Shop, eat, drink, and rock out August 1st at Strathmore Park. Get tickets and details at hilltownchic.com.
Hurry to Gary Hyundai and save green with more inventory than any other dealer in Western Mass. I'll give you more green for your car, whether you trade it or not. Lease a 2021 Elantra Hybrid Blue for $258, a 2021 Ioniq Hybrid SEL for just $231, or a 2021 Sonata Hybrid Blue for $229. Go green and save with 3 years of complimentary maintenance, all on Nisco with America's Best Warranty, 10 years or 100,000 miles, and owner assurance. GaryRomeHyundai.com, 150 Whiting Farms Road, Holyoke. See dealer for details.
It's just about 7:25 with Bax and O'Brien to Rock 102.
So, the thing I was originally thinking about, because this just came out this morning, and now I can't see the date. I don't remember the date of Sandy Hook, but after the years-long legal battle, the gun manufacturer, Remington, has reached a settlement with the families. Now, the families were asking for wrongful death settlements of $225 million with an expected punitive claim exceeding $1 billion. Remington has settled, and the families have accepted a $33 million offer.
Wow.
Which comes out to $3.7 million to each family. Obviously, the families weren't doing it for the money. And Remington has filed 2 bankruptcies, but I don't think that means they're done making guns.
The shooting was in 2012.
Yeah, so it's been almost 10 years, and it took that long to reach a settlement. But it's one of the few times that that people have successfully sued a gun maker because somebody used the gun to kill people with, but. I don't know whether you say it's not a matter of being happy with $3.7 million. You're not happy. You've lost a child.
It's a settlement, though. So they didn't lose in court.
Right.
So if Remington had tried to fight this, as expensive as it would have been to defend, they might not have. They might have won.
I just don't know what the ultimate goal is supposed to be. I mean, after 2 bankruptcies and years of legal tussles, the case reached the U.S. Supreme Court in 2019. It's scheduled to go to court soon. Jury selection in September. I don't know. I've gotten lost now in the article. I don't know why there's going to be a trial, but ultimately, what you're trying to do, I'm thinking, is either put the company out of business or get them to stop making this particular gun. And so I don't know what $3.7 million even means to the family.
I don't know. I can't say I follow it that closely, so it's hard for me to say. We have news coming up next on Rock 102. 7:31 with Bax and O'Brien on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Yankee Home Improvement. This month, receive $1,500 off installation with no money down, no payments, and no interest for a full year. Visit yankeehomeimprovement.com and always use the keyword Rock 102. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagel.
Hey, you know what today is?
What?
Thursday?
Edward Eckert Day. Yeah!
Who's that?
Surprised you don't know. Acting Holyoke Mayor Terrence Murphy declared July 29th Edward Eckert Day, honoring Eckert's 33-year career with the Department of Public Works. He's slated to retire tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. 6 guys are going to be standing around the cake, and one of them's cutting it.
Well, that's the way it normally is.
Yeah.
Murphy and City Council President Todd McGee presented Eckert with proclamations recognizing his service to the city of Holyoke. Public Works Superintendent Michael McManus joined the Tuesday ceremony at City Hall. The mayoral proclamation recognized Eckert's dedication and commitment to the city. Much success and happiness in your future endeavors, Murphy wished Eckert.
All right, where did you get this from?
On Mass Live.
Top of the page.
One of the top stories.
Yeah. Wow.
You didn't know that today was Edward Eckert Day?
They certainly have covered the breaking news, haven't they?
And if you're going to poo-poo on it, Edward Eckert looks like he could kick your ass any
probably
day.
could.
I'm not so much poo-pooing on Edward Eckert's day as I am on Mass Live's coverage of it, and you're reading it.
A Holyoke native, Eckert attended the William Whiting and Lawrence schools. He carries a reminder from his junior high school shop days when his finger got stuck in a joiner.
Ooh, ouch.
That's gotta suck.
Talk about overcoming adversity.
He plans to enjoy an agenda-free retirement and see what happens.
What was that joiner girl's name?
I don't think it was a girl.
Oh,
it was a machine.
A machine. Oh, a machine. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing this.
You sit here and you go, I've been inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, Massachusetts Radio Hall of Fame, blah, 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 blah. And this guy has one day that he's got dedicated to him, and then you got to poo-poo on it.
Hey, listen, Chicopee School Committee member Marjorie Wojcik is retiring after 36 years. Where's her story?
That was Steve's next story. Now you've blown it.
I'm not seeing Mr. Eckert anywhere on Mass Live.
I don't have that story.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not seeing Eckert anywhere on Mass Live anyway.
I obviously wasn't here Monday and Tuesday. You guys were talking about these Chicopee bike lanes.
Yeah.
So Western Mass News does this whole, we got answers kind of thing. A post caught our attention online. A Chicopee resident wrote in part, what are these white things? They seem to have appeared overnight around Chicopee Center. Not asking to be snarky, I've legit never seen anything like these. Western Mass News was curious too, so we sought out some answers. And then they interview the owner of Central Oil. It's hideous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And all these people are like, this is disgusting. I finally see a picture of these things. What the hell is it?
Yes, we did talk about it the other day, and I drove through downtown Chicopee yesterday, and 22 News did a story on it earlier this morning. When I heard the description of it and the location of it, I really couldn't place it. It did sound pretty stupid, but when I saw it yesterday, first of all, they're temporary. All right, they're going to be taken out in the fall.